Now, in 1913, they built the mill, started the mill. And by the way, I was their plant engineer there for 38 years. I was in charge of construction and all that stuff, so I'm familiar with some of these things I'll tell you. That mill started in 1913-14, and it was located between the railroad track and the river, 25 tons a day. And in 1931, they expanded to number one paper machine. They built that across the track, first time. And I remember in 1931, I saw them building the foundations for it. I live nearby that area, see, building the foundations. So they built that. And at that time, and it increased the production then to 750 tons.
Many were employed then. You know, it was a town. You know, if that company closed up, the town would have shut down too, because that was the main employer. They went out of their way to help employees. If you had a bad leg, you got a job downstairs. You didn't have to climb up the stairs to the second floor, you know, that type of thing. They took care of their employees, you know.
We had a tough time. My father worked at Chesapeake Corporation. He was in the maintenance gang up there. Wages were not high. And then in 33, we had the Depression. My mother said that our family lived off of my little piggy bank. All right. I can remember the man coming up the street with fish strung on thread and everything, and they hollered their goods, and people bought fish right from them and cleaned them and ate them. So we mostly lived off of fish and potatoes.
It was so different back then in the 20s, late 20s, early 30s. Entirely different. It was Depression time. People didn't have the money to do anything much. You did things with families and groups and all. You didn't do much outside of the town because you didn't have transportation.
I came up during the Depression, and don't you think I don't remember it. But people were so good. And at our church, for example, people like the Timberlicks, the Duns and all, raised these great big gardens. And Mother and I canned everything imaginable. And I swore when I grew up I'd never can a thing. And I didn't.
My husband came here to work for Chesapeake right out of school. And he lived in Richmond. He rode the train down. He'd never heard of West Point. And he rode the train down. And he got out of the train, and someone was standing there, and he said, "Where's the streetcar?" He wanted to go up for his interview. And someone said, "Man, ain't no streetcar in West Point." Anyway, he got the job as assistant chemist, $15 a week. And he worked there until he retired, 42 years. Loved every minute of it, he said.
There was a big lime pond, all from 16th Street in West Point, all the way up to 23rd Street. All that's white with lime. And if it's settled, you can walk on it, but you could drive on it. It's soft. And I just want to bring one point out is that Main Street stopped at 16th Street. We used to go to West Point by the cemetery, and on this street here, which is Lee Street, going over to on 16th to get on Main Street, going town. Well, some years later, they extended that street all the way to the cemetery, going over top some of that lime and so forth. And when they extended that street, then the mill started building a little street over top of the lime pond to meet it. Because the only entrance they had was from 14th Street at those days. And that was 19th Street, which it is today, 19th Street. So they gave two entrances to the plant. Now, and over here they covered the lime pond. But in the earlier days, to get to the